Welcome to the live. Today I want to ask you a question, and this is a self-reflective question. Are you lowering your vibration to be relatable to others? Think about how often you go against what you know to be true because you want to be relatable to others. Think about how often you go along with things, like with conversations, with certain behaviors, that you know it's not in alignment to who you want to be, but you do those things because you want to be relatable. You want to maintain a connection with those people, even though being around those people lowers your vibration. And I'm not saying that you are better than that person or they are bad people, but you know when you are in a high vibration and when you are in a low vibration. You know the difference. Oh, okay. Sage Spiritual says, do you think you did the same thing when you were in carbonation? What do you mean? What do you mean, do I think I did the same thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Give me some clarity. And welcome everybody to the live. This question that I'm asking you actually came to me through a conversation that I had with my husband. And we were just talking about how we were talking about love, and we were talking about, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but what I do remember is when he said that statement, he was just like, well, I don't think we can always be in a high vibration because sometimes we have to lower it to be relatable. And when he said that, it penetrated my heart because it just opened my mind to and had me self-reflect. How often do I lower my vibration to stay connected with others? Oh, Sage says, Lord, you know what, Sage? I don't believe that situation lowered my vibration. I believe that because the vibration that I was on, I attracted that situation. But at the same time, that situation had low vibrations and high vibrations, if that makes any sense. And if it doesn't, you can ask more questions for me to expound on that. And my husband is in the live right now. Like, I'm still thinking about that, the conversation that you and I had. And so it's a reflective question that I think that everyone should think about, because a lot of what's going on in the world that we deem as bad is because I believe that people will go against what they know to be true just so they can have the connection, just so they can be relatable. Because when you see a person that is like always happy, excited, and positive, so it does make them not relatable, because most people are not happy. Most people are not positive. Most people are not thinking of the best outcome. So because of what we were taught. And then when you do find yourself being the high vibe person in the group, people don't really want to have anything to do with you. They don't, because y'all not on the same vibration. But my question is, can you be courageous enough to not care what people think and maintain your vibration and increase it? That is the question. And I think that's what it really comes down to. And I think that's why people go against themselves and they go ahead and eat the foods that they know are not healthy for them, that will lower their vibration. They will stay in relationships with others. Regardless, if they know that it's unhealthy, they will stay in it because they want to be relatable and they want the connection. Sage said, you should be yourself unapologetically. Let me ask you a question, Sage. Okay, tell me, Sage, what does that mean for you to be yourself unapologetically? Because I don't know if everybody knows what that means. What are some things that you do that you are not apologizing for? And welcome everybody into the room. This is a conversation that I would love for if we were all in a room together, like an actual room. I would want to have this conversation. This is not just about me. This is a reflective question that I don't know if people are aware of. How often do you lower your vibration to be relatable, to connect with people? You know? And she said the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay, so what is the ugly parts? What are the bad parts that you're not apologizing for? Okay, because I think that's huge. Now, for me, I have been able to be in a state of pure love, and that's when I did the plant medicines. And when I was in that state of pure love, my vibration was very high. And when I came home from the retreat and was around my husband, my vibration was so high of love that it affected him in a positive way. And I think that if instead of us looking at, oh, you're going to vibrate so high, you're not going to be relatable, or you're going to vibrate so high, you can affect the other person's vibration in a positive way. What if you decide to be like Sage and decide to be yourself unapologetically, and that inspires someone else to be that as well? But if you go into these spaces dimming your light, if you go into these spaces only trying to relate, what if that's the issue? What if everybody is going into these different spaces, lowering themselves, trying to be relatable? when in actuality, we need to raise the vibration. And maybe that's what people are looking for. Who's going to go off the beaten path? Okay, so she said, just me all the time. I feel like your people will accept you. Welcome, genuinely humble. She said, my petty side, when I'm angry, when I'm sad, when I'm happy, any mood I'm in. I don't want to relate. I like to shake things up. Yeah, it's, very good. Very good. And for me, where I'm at now is because internally, I'm a happy person. Like, I'm like really happy. I don't really care about shit. I don't care about what's going on in the world a lot of times because my internal world is so rich and is so abundant. But then that does make me out of touch. But I don't want to be in touch with what's going on a lot of times. I want to be, unless it's like happiness and joy and prosperity, but other than that, when it's things that I can't really do anything about, I don't want to be in touch. I don't want to relate. I don't want to relate to that. I don't want to relate to someone's struggle. I don't want to do that, and for me, it's like when I'm in those emotions that you're talking about, for me, I don't even want to express those things, because I know it could be something else. But I don't think not expressing those things makes you relatable. But I guess it just depends on the context of when you're expressing your anger, right? Because if you're expressing your anger when something makes you angry, but then it's like everybody else is trying to downplay it, be like, oh, it's not that serious, but for you it is that serious, and you're okay with showing that. I think that is where you're choosing not to be relatable. So yeah, and this is just real-time thought, because I just wanted to put this out here just in case other people might be thinking this. I want to be relatable in expanding my mind, in expanding my growth. And, that's where I want to connect with people that want to do that, regardless of what's going on in the world. And that's the reason why I come online, because it's I want to attract my people, just just like what Sage was saying. But at the same time, I'm like, but who am I? Who is showing up on this camera that I'm going to attract? So it's like doing the work within yourself, and then you will attract those people that resonate, with that. Sage says, I've had to catch myself in those moments when I catch myself trying to lower my vibrations. It's very hard, but you have to be aware of it to self-control. Exactly. Because, at the end of the day, we all want love. Everything that we do is because we either think it's going to make us feel good or we're going to get love out of it. That's the motive. That's the motive in what anybody does. And I don't care how heinous the crime is. They did it because they wanted a release and they wanted to feel good. And I think that if we can start with compassion, and you can have compassion for somebody and do not agree with them, okay? You can understand somebody and do not agree at all at what they're doing, but if you can get to the core of the human experience, everybody is doing whatever they could do to receive love or to feel good or to be happy. And we all have our different medicine or poison to get there. So when my husband said that, he was just like, well, you can't be too high or you won't be relatable. And then I'm like, why not? Why can I not be too high? Okay. Why not can I be in the complete frequency of love and power? And who gives a damn what anybody thinks about it? But what I've experienced is that when I'm at my highest frequency, when I felt it, it didn't push people away. It actually brought people more towards me and inspired them to feel that same love and that same high vibe. And I don't like using high and low because it can be misinterpreted, but that's the only thing. If you have another word of how we can express like when you are at the peak of love or when you're at the bottom of love, let me know, okay? Because I think that is the delusion that if I be too much of myself, I'm not going to be relatable. But you are you, and nobody can relate to you because you are you. Like, it's like there ain't nobody but you. And so if everybody would just come to the forefront and just be them, then I just think this world would be a better place. But at the same time, the way that we know who we are is with other people. Like, you are who you are based on the reflection of the other people. Like, because if it's just you, it's just you. But this is why it's so important to have people in your life, because they help you see yourself clearly. They help you see you. You don't know who you are until you are in front of another person. I can sit here all day and say, I'm a happy person. I love to be happy and positive. Yeah, I can say that by myself, but who shows up when another person comes around? That will show you a lot about yourself. Sage says, yes, my husband is wise beyond his years. Yeah, a lot of times it's so funny because when I expounded that thought he said, he was like, that was not the direction that he was going in. I was like, well, that's the direction that I took with that comment, because it just did something to me, but it also showed me myself. Like, wow, like why am I trying to make myself relatable? What is that? To relate to what? And I understand, because the core, one piece of my purpose, and this is how you don't have to beat yourself up, is being aware of what your purpose is. Because if you're not, and I'm pointing, but let me go this way. be aware of what your purpose is, because a lot of who you are and why you do the thing that you do, it is because it's a part of your purpose. But if you don't know your purpose and you are comparing yourself to what everybody else is doing, you think there's something wrong with you. So for me, one of the reasons why I probably reach more for relatability instead of individuality is because a part of my purpose, I'm supposed to be a part of a community. I'm supposed to be a part of a group. I am here to be myself, but I'm here to be myself a part of something with other people. So that relatability is there because I am waiting and looking for and searching my people, and the people that I'm looking for, those are the ones that I want to relate to. So because it's like when you are a part of a group, or when you're a part of something that is more than one person, like a few people, you're looking for resonance. You're looking for alignment. And relatability, relating to others, is a part of that. But if you are not solid within yourself, aware of yourself, know thyself, that relatability can be a limitation. So I know for me, because of my purpose, me wanting to merge with others is also a limitation with me developing myself and being who I really am because of that. So that's why it's so important for you to know yourself, because your gifts without self-awareness can be a limitation and blocks if you do not know how to use them and if you do not understand them. So, oh yes, she said looking for acceptance. Like, and these aren't bad words. Like acceptance, relating, those aren't bad words. They're not. They're just words. But if you use them with inadequacies and with lack, they can become bad words. It just depends on the person. Oh, she said it was a huge gem. Yes, Sage, it's a movement. Like for me, it's all about, she said, what does a community look like? And a community, it looks different for everyone. But for me, a community is, for me, and I love that you said that, Sage, is about a movement. Because you can be in a community with anybody. Like right now, I'm in a homeschool group community with other parents that want to homeschool their child. But at the end of the day, once we leave the group and the activities, I don't have any connection with any of those people. That ain't the type of community that I want to be a part of. Like, I want to be a part of a community where when we come together, we are making change. And yes, in that homeschool group, we are making change because we're all coming together to parent our children and educate our children in a different way. So, but when it comes to like the relationships I have with the other parents, I don't have that. If anything, I don't even think I really talk to anybody. I might have one friend there I have one friend there. That's how I met her. But other than that, everybody else, I couldn't tell you anything about those parents. And that's not, when it comes to parenting my child and building a community based around that, I want to be able to have a relationship with the parents. I want to be able to have a relationship with the mothers and the fathers. I want to know their values. Like, I want to know their interests, not just this one particular thing. Like, to me, that is a community where we have shared values and we have connection, like outside of the movement. But the movement of what we're doing is what brought us together. But how are we in relationship to one another? That's something that that is important to me, because when I was in a community, when I was in a group of people that some of you may know about, I learned a lot. I learned what not to do, and I also learned what to do. But you got to be careful with what you project onto the community, because it may not be what it is. So you definitely want to be really aware of the people in your life, and if y'all truly are moving in the same direction. That's the thing that I've learned in all of my relationships. Are we moving in the same direction? Because that will help a lot of things. So yes, y'all. Yes, so that's the question for the day, the self-reflecting question that I want for you to take with you is start paying attention to you choosing relatability over keeping your vibration high. Start thinking about that. Like, if you're a person that don't care about the news or care about the atrocities in the world, but then here comes somebody want to tell you what happened and what that girl, did you see the news? Did you hear what happened? Are you going to pause it and be like, I'm not interested? Or are you going to be like, oh yeah, tell me what happened? That's you lowering your vibration. Curiosity can make you lower your vibration for you to take in information that's not for you to take in. Okay? Every moment that you have is an opportunity for you to choose to be yourself, for you to choose yourself. Okay? You are the example of what you want to see in the world. It is you. You are the example. It is not for us to wait for somebody else to be the example of what we want to see in the world. No, whatever you want to see in the world, whatever you complain about, it is because it is for you to show that to the world. Instead of waiting for somebody else to do it. Because, you hear a lot of people complaining about this is wrong and this is that and this is that. And then I'm thinking, well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Do you have there's a reason why we care about the things we care about and we complain about the things we complain about, because it's a part of your purpose. It's a part for you. It is your responsibility and role to do something about it. I don't know what, but I do know you care about the things you care about. It's because they're a part of your purpose. And anything that you don't care about is because it's not a part of your purpose to care. But for you to get more clear about that, you must continue to raise your vibration. And when I say to raise your vibration, put yourself in the frequency, in the thoughts, in the actions of love. Love for others, but most definitely love for yourself. That is why it's so important for you to connect with love. And anything that's not that, you don't want to have anything to do with it. This is the work, is remembering that you are loved. Remembering that love is all around you. And no matter what you have, what you don't have, what you've done, what you don't do, it's all about remembering that you are worthy of love and you are here to love. And there's so many situations and obstacles and challenges that are going to be in front of you, but it's for you to decide and make a choice to choose love and keep your vibration high. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I do when, like, say if I'm just having a bad day or say that I'm going through something, the one thing that I do is, instead of worrying about myself and worrying about my situation, I come on camera and I talk. I come on camera and I share and I teach, and I want to bring value to someone, because there's no value in me sitting here worrying about my problems and beating myself up and saying, look, there's no value in that. So because I may not have access to raise my vibration, I always have the opportunity to give value to other people. Always. Even whatever you're going through, if you share that with someone, that's value, because you just never know what other people are going through. And a lot of times we think that whatever we're going through is the end of the world and it's worse. But I know that there's other people out there that is going through something even more, and despite whatever I'm going through, I'm always going to be all right. I'm always going to be okay. So because of that, I'm going to put this problem over here and allow the creator to mend it and fix it. I don't want to be responsible for fixing my life anymore. I'm going to come over here and just bring value to those that are ready and available to receive it. That's just what I've always been doing for the past 18 years. I'll get on camera and I'll be like, hey, you might be going through something, but let me give you a word to help you elevate. It ain't going to be for everybody, but it's going to be for who it is for. So what y'all talking about? Oh, hey, Silas. Yeah, Sage said, I don't watch the news. I don't listen to any of it. Silas said, the higher heart won't allow you to lower yourself. Silas, no looking back is key. Sage says, what if you care about it, but you prioritize your time and energy? Hold on. What? So I could understand the question. What if you care about what? What? Yeah, because I wasn't looking, so I don't know what I said to make you ask that. Lena said, this is a great point. I don't be wanting to be rude, but I don't care about the news or gossip. That's I like what you said, Lena. So another reason why someone may lower their vibration, because they don't want to seem rude. And so and I think that is a childhood thing. We were taught that if we stood up for what we wanted, and if we chose ourselves, we are rude. We want to pay attention to we want to pay attention to how we perceive things. All right? Because you might be dimming yourself. You might be limiting yourself because you don't want to appear rude. That shows up in every part of your life. That shows up in your relationships. That shows up in when you are needing to stand up for yourself and what you want. You ain't going to do it because you don't want to be rude. But the funny thing is, when people are bringing the BS, they ain't cared about being rude. They could care less if they rude. They ain't even going to ask you, do you even care about this? They just go come and just say whatever they want to say because they ain't worried about being rude. So I think it's funny how sometimes we don't want to stand up for what we believe in because we don't want to be rude, but at the same time, the other person, they don't care about whether or not they being rude or these are things that I think about. These are the things that I think about, and I think about them because I want to be aware of this, because I know my mindset. I want to be aware of my mindset because no matter where I go, my mindset going with me. So what is my perspective on life? How do I perceive things? Because this is going with me no matter where I go. So how am I? It don't matter what relationship I'm in. It don't matter what choices I make. My mindset is always going to go with me. So how do I think? How do I see the world? What are the stories that I've told myself that is true but actually ain't? It's just my mind decided that this is what the truth is. And just like what Lena said, I be thinking that too. Be like, oh, I don't want to be rude, so I'm not going to tell the truth. I'm not going to say it like how I really believe it because I don't want to be rude and I don't want to hurt your feelings because I know how people feel about truth. But that ain't helping. That ain't gonna help them when they might need that hard truth. And I'm all worried about, well, I don't want to be rude. Yeah, but then you might have the truth that they might need to hear to elevate their life. Oh, she said, okay, so what if you care about it, but you prioritize your time and energy? Is that wrong? And I said, what's going on in the world? I just think And I'm starting to see this. What if you care about it, but you prioritize your time and energy? What's going on? I think you're gonna care about what you're supposed to care about. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you care about, you're going to care about. But then there's a lot of things that you see that you really don't care about. But then you got to ask yourself, am I only caring about it because out of fear? And I need to care about this because if I don't, something bad is going to happen to me in my life? Or do I care about this because I want to do something about it? Those are two different things. You care about what's going on in the world, but when you say you care, or is it because you worry? Or, that's it's a lot of self-reflecting questions that will get you to the truth and the core of who you are. Start being honest with yourself. Like, do I think this way or act this way because out of fear? Or because this is who I truly am? Yeah. Are you still here, Sage? Yeah, I don't know if she's still here. So, yes, y'all. So I'll keep this live up because, I want my intentions is to waken people up, to awaken them, to no longer feel like if you're not relatable, that you're still not going to get your needs met. Because maybe maybe the people you're trying to relate to, they don't need to be there. But you're trying to hold on to them. And that's why you're trying to relate. Like, look, you see me? We the same. Deep down inside, you're not. You know what they saying is stupid. You know what they talking about is not something that you would ever care about or even want to do. But you hold on to them because there's some form of benefit, and that could just be because you don't want to be alone or whatever, or you don't want to be judged, or you want to be liked. So many of these things that as humans we all can relate to. But I challenge everyone to keep caring. Keep caring. I don't like saying I don't care. I don't want to say, because it's like I care so much, but choosing to care about what benefits me and what elevates my life. That's what I want to care about. That's where I want to put my care in. Sage said it's not out of fear, it's more of a boundary. Well, boundary I would say boundary is next to fear. I don't want what's going on around me to affect my journey. Okay, so boundary has become one of those words that has been very popular. And when you gotta, and again, this reflection, and I'm only going to share with you what I've learned. So my perspective is based on what I've learned, okay? A lot of times when we use boundary, what is boundary? Let me ask you something. Y'all can answer. When you think of boundary, what comes to you? Open, closed? Someone answer. When you think of boundary, are you open to something or are you closed off to something? Someone answer it. No, that is not the okay. That's a good word, but but I'm glad you changed the word. Good. Okay, what is your sun sign or rising sign, Sage? Yes, standard is a better word, but yes, correct, Lena. Closed. So when you find yourself using the word boundary, that's an opportunity to pause and be like, what am I closing myself off to? Okay, that's the first question. What are you closing yourself? Because when you need a boundary, like, I'm saying no to this, I'm closed off to what is happening. Okay? And then sometimes that closeness and saying no could be linked to what are you afraid of what's going to happen if you remain open. So then that's when you could get down to whatever the fear is. I should have known you was Scorpio, what, sun or rising? Yeah, I already know you don't give a damn. But then Scorpios, they really do. Yeah, Scorpios, they do give a damn, but at the same time, they don't. But I like that you use the word, what is my standard? Like, what is the standard? And standards is just more so giving you clarity about what you do want. So if you can remain open to what you do want versus being like, I'm focusing on what I don't want. Remember that the universe doesn't know the difference. Sun and rising. Okay, girl. Scorpio. Ooh. Yeah, you deep. The universe doesn't know the difference between what you don't want and what you do want. So that's why it's important for you to continue to remain open to what you do want. Don't focus on what you don't want. Sometimes you do have to be in the phase of, I know what I don't want, right? Because you're not in the frequency of knowing what you do want, because you're not in the frequency of even being clear of what that is. But you definitely got clear about what you don't want because you had enough of it. I have enough of what I don't want now. You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes it's not as clear of knowing what you want, because you hadn't focused on that. You haven't made space for what you want. So how do you know what you want? You know what you don't want because you had it about 10 years now. Like, I know I don't want this. So sometimes you do have to start at boundary, and then I say, then next thing is, what is your standard? What are your values? What are your desires? Like, what do you want? And then that's how you can grow and expand, because sometimes you may not have the capacity to receive what it is that you want. And so even thinking about that it's a lot. And so that's why I think, going back to the topic of making yourself relatable and lower your vibration, because that's what you're used to. You're used to being in that vibration. So to raise your vibration and to be in that high state, it's almost scarier, because it's unfamiliar, I should say. To just be positive and to expect good things and to be clear and to be like, no, that's not what I'm into. No, I do not care about that. That's unfamiliar territory for a lot of people. So I understand why people remain relatable. I understand why people shrink themselves. This is my work. My work every day is to choose to be me, is to choose to be high vibrational, to know, because I know the truth, y'all. I know the truth. I felt it. I seen it. I was there. I know the truth. But just because you might know something, that don't mean you're going to always choose it. You know what I'm saying? Because you might go into that space of lack and being like, I need something, so let me lower myself so I can get it. It's not coming from authenticity. I really believe a lot of times when people are being relatable, they're not authentic, because you don't believe that. You don't care about that. You know what I mean? But you just doing that. So a lot of times relatability just isn't it's not authentic at all. And yeah. So y'all, my mind, Ketzel blew my mind with that statement. I don't even think he thought that much of it, but I did. I was just like, that is exactly what I needed to hear today. Like, wow, like, girl, how much are you trying to relate to people? Like, So y'all have any questions or want to share anything before I go? Because I got to go feed my child before you come up here. My mom, can I have a snack? Like, so if you have any questions, anything you want to share, what's one thing that you learned about yourself? What's one of the things you've been learning about yourself? Yeah. What's some things that you've been expanding in lately that you haven't before? Well, you know what, Sage? This was for you. If it wasn't for nobody else, I was for Sage. The double Scorpio. Yeah. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go. Y'all have an amazing day and choose to be high vibration no matter what the world is playing.